My girlfriend, that through thick and thin. My girlfriend.
Hey, girlfriends, and welcome to Girlfriends Unscripted.
Have you ever looked at yourself and thought, how did I get here? Like somewhere along the lines, you lost yourself trying to be strong, trying to survive, or just trying to be everything to everybody. But nobody talks about what it feels like when you don't recognize yourself anymore.
And no one talks about what it feels like when growth changes your identity before your mind has time to catch up. In this episode, we're talking about faith, identity, healing, and becoming because sometimes life forces you into a season that reveals who you really are. And maybe the season isn't breaking you, it's helping you to become who you were purposed to be and redirecting you in the way that you should be going. So let's get into it.
All right, girl.
All right, I think that there is this negative stigma about that comes when we talk about like I'm so lost, I don't know where I'm supposed to be or what I'm supposed to be doing or what my purpose is. And I think sometimes that can be a negative thing, but also it could be the place where you identify, who am I becoming or what am I outgrowing? And that's the space where life forces you to outgrow the old so that you can become something new.
Yeah, I feel like it like you don't it doesn't mean like you're not where you're supposed to be. Because sometimes that is exactly where you're supposed to be. You have to get lost sometimes to even find yourself.
Yeah. I think that in the confusion, in that space, it kind of draws you or drives you to find a purpose, to find your purpose. Like, for example, when you don't feel like you have anywhere to turn or you don't feel like you have anywhere to go, where can you go to find that purpose? Where can you go to find that peace? And it just points back to your faith. What is your faith in? What do you have faith in? What are you believing? What are you trusting for? And so, as long as you have hope, because God gives us hope, no matter how low we get, we always have that hope. And so, if you're lost, then you seek out the hope.
Yeah, I think sometimes, but in that moment of being lost, I think when sitting in it, you gotta find because you lose that when in that space. You know what I'm saying? You lose whatever you believe or whatever you thought because that space kind of brings you to this.
Not for me. I never lose my faith.
Not faith. You're not losing.
I
your
never
faith,
lose my hope.
but you get
either.
distracted.
I think that when I'm at a low space, I may feel far from God. I may feel disconnected. Yeah. But I always know I'm connected.
You know, I don't mean like you totally lose your face, but you are like for me. I want to say like you get distracted in being able to
because you're focused on what you can
what
fix.
the problem is. Yeah, being in control of that situation. You're kind of like, oh, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out this, and you're not sitting back and you're not like, okay, this is. I know God handles it because He did last time. Or this is happening because this is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? So I think in that moment, you're kind of when you're lost, you're not thinking as though you should be thinking. So that's what I mean when I say like you get to that, you have to like.
And that's where I think the turning point is. That's why I think that it could have a negative connotation, and you can be like, I'm lost, I don't know where to go, and literally sit in that. Yeah. Or you could be like, I'm lost, I don't know where to go, but I know who to go to. Yeah. So that's where the turn comes. That's where the change happens. And that's where you kind of start to realize like, okay, I feel lost, but maybe this is growth. I feel this, but maybe this is so that something else can start to birth inside of me. Something else can start to develop inside of me. But to get to that space, I guess you have to realize like, I don't have the answers.
Yeah, what I'm doing is not working.
Because it's like we're on this. What does they call that wheel? This wheel of going in circle. This hamster wheel going circle, circle, circle. Trying to figure it out ourselves. Trying to do it in our own self. Trying to do it in our own space. And then sometimes we don't grow because we just keep going in the same circle.
And then I feel like too, like that's the position when you're in that position. It's for you to let some things go, learn some new things or whatever. Like you're outgrowing
that situation. Yeah, because it's like when you feel lost, that could be a sign that you're evolving, that you're ready to move on to something else. When something no longer feels comfortable or something no longer feels like it's serving you, then that's a sure sign that, hey, maybe this isn't the space that I should be in.
Yeah.
And that's when you have to develop something inside of you like, okay, I'm not lost. I'm outgrowing who I used to be. I'm outgrowing what once felt familiar, what once felt like home for me. This is not me anymore. And so that's why it's kind of like your mind changes.
It's a shift.
Yeah, there's a shift that happens.
Yeah, like like even like it's kind of like getting off work and a new shift come in. You gotta adjust some things. You gotta show them like, okay, this is where we finna go. This is how this is finna land. And
yeah, you're growing, but your mind still hasn't like caught up. Like, oh, I don't belong here anymore. So it's kind of like, okay, now I need to step out into the next place. And that's the moment that you realize, like, okay, I've been trying to do this on my own. Like, I think you had a moment like that the other day. It was just like, no, I always try to do stuff on my own, but I'm not doing that this time. This time I'm finna let God, whatever you finna do, like, go ahead and do it, because I don't got it.
I was gonna get into that, like, about last year. How last year I was in a space where I was like, oh my God, like this is dark cloud. No matter like how I moved or where I moved, that dark cloud was not letting up. Like I'm just trying to feel
Get
good.
off of me.
You know, where's the sun? And it wasn't like material things that I felt like I needed. It was more so just like a dark cloud in my soul. Like I just didn't want. Couldn't understand how I could not feel better.
Yeah.
Until I got to that point where I was, you know, just like, okay, I'm about to take this a different route, because this is not working for me. I'm trying to figure this out. I can't get this dark cloud up off of me, so it must be God that's gonna have to help me. So that's, I mean, of course, you know, I know God and I grew up in church.
Yeah, it's not that you don't know God. I think like people confuse that. Yeah. Like because you know God, you can't have doubt, or because you know God, you don't go through this dark clouded season. Like
that cloud was heavy, thick.
And sometimes it feels like it's never going to like leave you. Like it's like, what is happening right now?
So, and then that's when I feel like my happiness kind of came more so from, not happiness, but my joy. It kind of came more from after I started going back to church like heavily and doing what I needed to do. In that manner, to be able to, because without that, there was no joy. I could not find it. And I literally had that conversation with my friend the other day. I was telling her, she was like, I'm just not happy. And I'm like, you're not going to find that happiness within anything that you have to, you know, you can buy whatever you want to buy. You can take your kids wherever you want to take them.
Not gonna,
but that dark cloud is going to stay, because that's not what you're seeking. You're not seeking.
It's like,
happiness.
when the distractions and the people and the validations and the drinking and the smoking, none of that is going to take away that dark cloud. And it's all temporary. Really, like you go do this so you can feel better for that moment. Yeah. But if that dark cloud is still over you, like you're still going to, at the end of the day, you're going to feel that dark cloud over you. And I think for you, it was kind of like you getting to the breaking point where self-reliance is not working. Like me, depending on my own strength, it is not working. So, and the distractions are not working. Me taking my kids here to make them happy, seeing a smile on your face. Yeah, that's all well and good. But then when you get back to that house and
you lay down, that dark cloud is still right there. Even when you're out, y'all at amusement park, you like,
yeah.
You know, that dark cloud is just there. And I feel like last year after, you know, I got deeper in church, like that dark cloud, like kind of just removed itself. It does come back. I'm not gonna say it don't come, but some days I'd be like, huh, and then I'd be like, okay, God,
and
what
I think
is it?
Yeah, and I think like sometimes, like even now, like people turn to God because it's trendy, or they're posting about God because it's trendy. But we're talking about the real. Like I'm not turning to God because it's trendy. I'm turning to God because in this season, the only strength that I don't have no strength by myself. I need the strength of God. I know that I need God in this season. So I'm not doing this for a social media post. I'm not doing this because everybody's doing it or everybody's posting about this. Like I really don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And I'm trying to seek out, you know, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? And so just finding out that is the source of our strength. Because sometimes I'll be like, I don't got it, God.
Yeah, you think, because a lot of times we think like, oh, I'm going to go over here or I'm going to go do this, and it's not going to fix it.
And why is God like the last thing or the last option that we do pick. Like we know, like time and time again, he's shown up. Time and time again, he's made a way. Time and time again, he's comforted us. He's been our joy. He's been our peace. But even in the middle of that situation, we don't think like, oh, let me turn to God. It's kind of like,
it's because we honestly do feel like we can handle it ourselves.
We do be.
Like, it's like okay, I know God is there, but it's like, I'm right here. I can handle this. Like, until you fall, and you realize, like, I can't handle this by myself.
I
need God to walk with me because it's not working like that. Like, I be feeling like, me personally, I do feel like I can handle a lot of my situations. I'll be like, all right, I got this.
I think we're a lot alike in that, to where it's like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to get through it. But I feel like my breaking point was something that was bigger beyond me. Like, little stuff, I could figure it out. I'll get it done or whatever. But when the house fire happened, it was just like, I can't really figure this out. It's nothing I could really do. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And so, like, I remember I was just like, sitting in the car crying one day, like, okay, God, all right, I did my best work.
Here you go, take it.
You know what? You got it.
You got to surrender.
My best work is not. It's not even comparable to what you can do in this season. And so, like we talked a lot about in this season about relinquishing control and just allowing that. Sometimes we gotta even just be intentional about relinquishing our control over a situation that we gave to God, or over a situation that only God can change. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like in the space I am now, I do give that advice to a lot of my fans. Like, I was talking to another one of my fans, and she's going through something right now, and I'm just like, girl, don't stop doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. Like, that's coming. But you got to keep doing what you're doing. Do not let that overpower.
And sometimes that happens.
Yeah. What's going on. Just keep pushing, keep doing your work. As long as you keep doing your work, then everything else will fall, Yeah,
as long as you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, long as you're focused, long as you're in alignment. And sometimes your body don't feel like doing it. Your body is tired. You're just like, I'm wore out. Like, what's
because you're tired of thinking.
You're tired of figuring it all out.
That's why you're tired.
What's really going on
And that's
here?
me, because I'm tired all the time, because I'm like, I got to figure this out. I got to figure that out. But now I really just be like, I'm not doing it.
I'm not finna figure this out.
I cannot. If I put another thing on my brain, it's going to pop.
It's about to bust.
So I'm not finna sit up here and try to figure this out. I know God has a better way than I could even imagine what the way is. You know, like, I can't even, like, I can't fathom what's going to happen. I can't figure out the light through that tunnel. So I won't even put it
I can't try. No. Yeah. I think what's difficult, and like, just if we're being really honest, is just trusting God in the unclear times and trusting God in these seasons where we feel like, I have a dark cloud over me, because it's hard to still say, how can I have this dark cloud over me and still trust that God is working these things out? You know what I'm saying? So I think that sometimes that's a struggle that people have. It's a reasonable struggle in trusting God when you don't have the answers and when you don't know what's going to come. And it's something that comes with maturity in God and growth and knowing, like, He's done this before.
Yeah, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was crying about something. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is this. And she's like, I'm not worried for you, because, I'm not even speaking on my own. I'm speaking on things that I've seen God do for you. Yeah. So she's like...
So even people are watching what God is doing for you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not even going to even indulge in this with you right now, because I know I've seen God work time after time for you. Like, time after time. You kind of like...
I think, like, now our conversations, like, I feel like we shifted in a sense to where, like, last year, I'm, like, encouraging, like, girl, God's going to do this for you. God's going to do that for you. But now it's kind of like in our conversations when we're talking, like, you'll call and you'll have a problem, and I'm just listening to it. And then in the same breath of your problem, you'll be like, but God is going. And so it's like, I don't even have to encourage you, because you're encouraging yourself. And I'm like, yes, He is.
You got to have that breakdown moment still. That breakdown moment still happens.
It's important. Like, look.
And then I'd be like, but God.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. So it's like the growth that happens, it comes as you consistently are in your word, as you're consistently identifying when God is doing these things. And sometimes they're small, mediocre things, and we think like they're are just passing, but like we had a bill that was due, and God showed up not when we thought he would show up, but right in the time to make sure that we had that bill paid, or he showed up like every time he just shows up when it's time for him to show up, he's there. And so just like, now I'm putting up a memory to that this is somebody that shows up. This is somebody that's going to be there for me. And so now I think you've been through the trials, and so now when it comes back up, when the cloud is there, it's like, yeah, I'm low, but I know. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't gonna get too low.
It ain't gonna get too low because he always gonna come. He's always gonna show up, and he's always gonna be there. And I think that's like it's like kind of like exercising. You know how like this is actually crazy, because remember when I first started going to the gym and everything was not, I didn't have no muscles and all of that, and you was like, girl, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. And so, but then eventually as I kept doing it, now my muscles are coming in, and now I got these, you know, all these different type of oh, you see my muscle, like, oh, you see my, it's like I could flex my muscle now. It's a muscle. Like trusting God is kind of like a muscle, because the more that you trust him, the more you building that muscle, and the more you like, oh no, I don't gotta worry about that, because God, he gonna do this, because he did it before. So now you have these muscles that you can flex and that you can know. It's like, okay, this is muscle memory. I went through this before, and he came through before, so he'll come through again. So I think like that's how you build that faith.
Remember we had that conversation kind of about someone, you was like, oh, they keep saying something was happening, and you was like, I keep telling them, like, just come to church. And I'm like, you know, I think it's easier for people that have experienced that moment to even
we were talking about, like, if they don't have no experience with God, it's hard for them to think that that's the solution to go to God.
Or even have those people in their circle to even say, like, oh, I see it working for you, so I know that will work for me. You know, you gotta be like, they're your people, but they're not your people to be in your circle, to be like, oh, I know her business, I know how God moves for her, so I know that there's trust here. You can't
because it's like my faith is harder, but I think that faith is like faith is really like walking without seeing the whole picture, you know, going without seeing the whole picture. And I think that for people who are new in Christ, or maybe don't even know who God is, it's hard to say, this is something I've always figured out. Now let me give it to who? You know what I'm saying? Let me give it to what? Let me do this. So it's kind of like, through your testimony, people will see what God is doing in your life and maybe become inclined to be like, hey.
Because you got to get out of that survival mode and realize that, you know, you can lay your cares here. This works. This does work.
Yeah, but it's hard and difficult, probably because clarity doesn't come first. You have to just go. And then the outcome comes later. So trust is what you have. All I have is this trust. And I'm going to trust. And I know that if, for somebody that doesn't know who God is, if you just take the first step.
Baby step.
Baby step, he'll begin to carry you through. And like you said, like even your friends that you are indirectly ministering to, or indirectly showing them who God is in your life. They don't know that it's happening, but they're being influenced by you. Just you living a life of perfect purpose, and you showing them that, hey, last year I was doing this, or I was responding to this in this way, and now this year, so now they like, girl, I already see what God be doing for you, so I already know you finna get through this. So it's kind of like, dang, you got the unbelievers and the believers believing that God is going to turn something around. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just like an amazing thing, but I think it also comes with growth and with trying,
stepping out,
and trusting, and stepping out, and not just being on your own accord.
Yeah, I think we do have to start healing the part of our life that is hard. You know, like life can force you into survival mode, and like you have to, you know, stand your ground, but letting that go and focusing on what God could do is
because you're always used to being the strong friend, the overgiver, the person that always shows up for everybody. You're the fixer. You're the person people call when they need something to happen. You're the make it happen. Like, you're the person that just everything is going to fall on you. So how could the person that everything falls on now release everything?
So, you know, last night we went to church for Good Friday, and we get home, and my boyfriend's like, I don't know why I don't got no dogs. I can't get no puppies. He like, somebody got voodoo on me. I turned my head so hard. I said,
almost cracked the neck.
I said, did you not hear anything that was said tonight?
Was you at church? Was you with me?
He was like, I did. I said, well, do you think any voodoo is stronger than God? Mm-hmm. No, there's no voodoo that can outpower him. I said, it's the timing. Mm-hmm. I said, it may not be the time for you. So we sometimes think that like it needs to be now.
And I also think, to interject, and I'm gonna let you get back to that thought. Yeah. I think to interject, I think that we have plans, and then God has plans, right? Yeah. And so our plans could take us however far they take us. Mm-hmm. And when we get to this point, this pivotal point, and it's like nothing is working. Nothing is happening. I done had litters and litters upon litters. Yeah. And now I can't get one litter to save my life. Mm-hmm. When the litter do come, the litter die. Yeah. When the dog comes, something happened to this dog. And it's just not working. And so there's this point where it's just like, are you going to keep trying and beating a dead horse? Mm-hmm. Or are you going to say, all right, God.
Surrender.
All right, God. Yeah. Okay, I have my plan. But
I think that's a part that is hard for a lot of people. It's the surrender part.
It's the surrendering part. Yeah. And maybe he doesn't know that this is time for you to surrender.
Yeah. I have like, that's how I be. Like now I just be like, God, what's your plan?
Because you're going to keep going into a brick wall like boop, boop, boop.
I'm not doing it again. I'm not hitting that wall again. So God, what you want me to do?
And that's what I think. And that's what I'm speaking of when I say like non-believers or people that don't really know God, never had a relationship with God. And they can't decipher like, why is nothing going good for me? And that is the point where growth can happen if you say, okay, I tried my way. Mm-hmm. Let me see what I'm supposed to be in God.
Because you can't keep. How many times do you honestly want to fall?
You don't want to keep falling. I don't like falling at all, baby. Kick me up. I'm not falling no more. I'm done
falling.
I'm telling you now. Like I don't want to keep doing
so it's like, how many times are you going to do that before you learn that it's time to surrender? Mm-hmm. It's time to let that go and let God figure it out.
Yeah. And sometimes it takes people longer to see that or to do that. And because when we have this plan, we see the end. We already saw what we thought should be. Yeah. We already saw what we thought was going to happen. And so when we have that in our mind, it's hard to unlearn that. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say, okay, this is my plans that I have, but your way's better. Mm-hmm. My life is good, but your way is better. What I thought I wanted seemed cool to me, but your way is greater. Yeah. So just unlearning the fact that this is the plan we had and really being okay with like, oh, you taking me this way? Yeah. That's the way that you wanted me to go. Mm-hmm. Like even when I called you and I told you, girl, do you like, what was it, 35 days before my house burned down, yeah. I had posted on social media, oh, I'm about to get my kitchen redone. Mm-hmm. I'm going to get a loft built. I'm going to get new couches. I'm going to get new flooring. Oh, don't worry. I'm just, speaking it into the atmosphere. And 35 days later, my house burned down. And it was like, come on now, Lord. And now look at me today, new kitchen, new flooring, new couch, loft built and whatever. And it's in a way that I'm like, I didn't mean it like that. What I was talking about was something totally different. Yeah. But his way is better. And he did it even better than I got a whole new house. You know what I'm saying? But it came at a cost. It came at a loss. It came at a breaking and a shaking of who I thought I was. And it had to happen because it was purpose. And if it didn't happen, then I would have never become who I was supposed to become. I didn't even know I was becoming. Yeah. And so in the middle of this cloud that's over me, God is molding and shaking, and all I could see is the cloud over me. I don't see that he's working and he's turning things around, and he's even shifting me from the inside out. And so in the middle of it, I didn't embrace it. I was like, this is just, what am I finna do?
It's scary.
It's scary. And so, I started to do what I do to try to get past my stuff. It's like, I'm going to travel. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to get outside. I'm going to do everything I can to try and make me feel better. And it's not to say that I wasn't in a space of like, okay, God, like, yeah, I trust you, God, but also in the same sense, I'm a human being. And this right now don't feel good. So let me do something to make me feel good. Yeah. So I'm traveling, I'm going here and there, and I'm going there and everywhere. And it wasn't until the house burned down in March, it wasn't until October that I realized I hadn't even dealt with the fire.
Yeah,
this don't feel good. It was really on my birthday. We were in Hawaii, and it was just a number of different things happening, a number of things that were just like triggering me to be like, I'm seeking validation and seeking happiness in all of these other things and trying to make myself be happy. And I had to stop and be like, all right, God, I'm done. I'm finished with this. I had enough.
I think too, God just be waiting for us to do that moment. Like, you gonna keep on, huh?
And I was trying hard, like, to just keep on. And that, when I said, all right, God, I had enough, he started to break off everything that I thought I was holding on to. That's when the real work started. So that whole entire time, it don't seem like it took a long time, but God was doing work inside of me. I didn't even know what's happening.
I'm gonna let her think this is working.
I'm gonna let her do it.
But it ain't working.
And it ain't working. And it's not until, we surrender and be like, all right, God.
Hands up for real. Sometimes I be like, done.
Finished. Check me out. Sub. Give me a sub out the game.
You get to that point once for people, like other people that are not like there, you do get to that point where you feel like, when you do be like, all right, God, or you got to start building that relationship with God.
Yeah,
because if you don't start building that relationship with God,
on that hamster wheel.
Yeah. So if you don't get to that point, then you still on a journey.
Long.
Yeah, you're still on a long journey home, and you need to.
And I don't like unnecessary wasted time. You know what I'm saying?
You didn't went left. You didn't went right. The map keep telling you to go this way, but you didn't went every other way. Like, this look shorter, this look quicker, this look funner, this look better. No, just take that map and do what we're supposed to do and lead us to the right way out.
And I think that's when it comes into redefining yourself spiritually, redefining your identity through Christ and through faith in God, and just redefining yourself and who you thought you were, and who you're gonna be, because you're gonna be way better. You know what I'm saying? So I think building a relationship with God is not just the religion and the rituals and the things that people do. And a lot of times I see, like, people always identify, you know how people say, I identify with this, or I identify as Christian, I identify as Catholic, I identify as this, I identify as that. But it's like, what fruits do you have to show that you identify with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not enough to just say, oh, I'm Christian. I don't go to church though, because them church people be like this. Like, you're not going to church for the church people. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. So how is your relationship with God? Oh, me and God good, but you don't talk to God ever. You don't never spend time with God.
If that was your regular friend and you ain't talking to them every day,
y'all not good.
Y'all not good.
Y'all not good. And I think that that's something that really needs to be, like, brought into the attention of, you and God are not good. And you sitting there saying, oh, no, I'm a Christian. Oh, yeah, me and God good. But you spend no time with God. You don't have no relationship with God. You don't have no time where you just like, what?
But that goes back to what we were talking about the other day when I told you, I'm like, it's very crazy how, we, like, somebody who, like, sacrificed so much for us versus, like, we go here and we try to, like, make everybody in this whole entire world happy, spend time with everybody else. But then when we look at, God, we'd be like, oh, he there, he there, he gonna be there. Yeah. But it's like, why don't we take those, why don't we do that same thing that we do for the world for God? Because it's like, then people ain't doing not this much of what God can do for you. So it's like, if you spend that same time that you spend worried about the next person or this, and spend that same time with God, then you'll see
the difference. And I was like, and maybe people don't know where to start. And people that don't know where to start, I was telling my friend the other day, she was just like, I don't remember the last time I prayed. I don't think I know how to pray. And she was like, I don't want to be embarrassed. I said, you shouldn't be embarrassed. Like, the fact that you're stepping out to ask this question lets me, like, you don't have to let me know nothing. I'm just merely a servant, you know what I'm saying? But it shows God, really, that you're taking the step to try and figure out, how can I get into this relationship with God?
But it's true. It's like, how do you pray? Talk to God. Just talk to him.
And I told her, I said, it's not no method to it, but just, start off thanking God. God, I thank you. I thank you for waking me up today. Even something so little like, I thank you for waking me up today. And just talk to him, have a conversation with him. You know what I'm saying?
That's your personal
start off with 3 minutes, then go to 4, then go to 5. Like, just focus your mind on him in that time. It's not no handbook on how to pray. I mean, they probably sell books about how to pray.
I think for me, it's like, I could pray to myself, but then when it be like, around people, I'd be like, ooh.
It just starts, I think that has to do with something in our mindset that, like, are they going to judge you?
You got to say the right things.
You got to say the right things. And now to this point where, listen, however I pray is what I'm going to pray. And that's my prayer for God. And God heard it. And every time that I do pray, God going to hear it. So if it don't land on you, don't matter to me, because God heard it, and God, you know what I'm saying? God is going to acknowledge that. And so just even something as little as giving God 5 minutes of your time. If you sit in quiet, just focusing your mind on God, like, I don't even know what to say, but I'm here.
I remember, was it last year we started the 20-minute prayers?
The 12-minute prayer for 21 days?
Yeah, for 21 days. And I was like, I'd be like, in the beginning, I'd be like,
still like 7 minutes, like
checking the phone, like, and then it got to a point where I was like, okay, I got this. What? I got 1 minute. Like,
now, like, cause when we started that, that was last year?
The day.
I still been doing the 20. I never stopped. If you're doing 21 days, you can make a habit.
Yeah.
So 21 days of prayer, just intentionally getting up. I don't talk to nobody before I pray. I'm not answering my phone. I'm not responding to no message before I pray. Like, none of that. Soon as I wake up, I set my timer for 12 minutes and I get to going. But now it's just like my timer go off and I'm still praying. Before, my timer was not going off for a long time. I'm like, wow, this is the longest 12 minutes ever. It's like doing a plank, like that seemed like the longest minute ever. But now, like, the more that I do it, the more now I have more to talk to God about, more to say, more to thank him for, more people I'm thinking about while I'm praying that you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the more you do it, the more you have things to talk about. So if you start with 2 minutes, next week you might be the 5. The next week you might be the 7, but it's being intentional.
About, wait, I forgot something.
Hold on, Lord, I got a few more things, you know what I'm saying? But it don't have to be something and I think that's also another thing, like, sometimes you can get intimidated from the culture of church. And so people are not so much, sometimes people are trying to talk about religion and culture and all of these things, and they're getting caught up in the rituals, but it ain't even about that. It's about a relationship, your personal relationship with God. And so no one can judge you about your personal relationship with God. Nobody can say anything to you about your relationship with God, but it's up to you to judge yourself about your relationship with God, because you say, we always say God knows my heart. He does. He really does. And our heart is wicked. We every day we trying better and better. We're trying to be better. But I think that it's also about you really actually just sitting with yourself and saying, if I was in a relationship with this person, would they be happy with the time that I'm spending with them? Would they be happy with the choices that I'm making? Would they be happy with the sacrifices that I'm doing to make them happy?
Right.
And if the answer is no, then that's self-work that you have to do. That's something that you need to identify within yourself. But I think that, like, really it's just all about finding yourself. And if you're feeling lost, it's not because you don't, you could be at a turning point. And don't go on the hamster wheel. Get off the hamster wheel.
But before we get out of here too, we do need to talk about the peace, the alignment that comes after. That's very important to understand that, like, there's so much more peace when you develop that, when you become aligned spiritually. And I'm like, want to, like, truly vouch for that, because, like I said, that dark cloud, and once I feel like I started to align myself, that there's not happiness, there's joy within, like, it's different. It's a whole different
like, joy hits different when you know who's holding it. You know what I'm saying?
Because Kirk Franklin had a song that said, you don't need happiness because something has to be happening for happiness. You need joy because that comes from within. So I think I want to truly feel like recently that I have really known the difference from, you know, aligning myself spiritually versus not aligning myself spiritually, and this is just like safer, more loving, more peaceful position to be in versus, you know.
Because life doesn't get perfect, it never does, but it gets peaceful. You get joy from within. Everything doesn't go correct, but you get this a sudden peace of I don't have to worry about this because I have a God.
That's the confidence that comes with, you know, that relationship with God, is that you are literally I ain't gotta worry about it. Like we will worry a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but you know that, you know.
And so we want to leave with saying, like, if you've been feeling lost or you feeling like you don't know which direction to go, I encourage you to just seek out a relationship with God and really try to find yourself in Him and stop doing things the same way that you've always done. And sometimes discomfort is proof that God is trying to get your attention, and He wants a relationship with you, and He wants to have a relationship with you. So kind of seek that on your, your own. And you can reach out to us in our inbox. We'll be happy to talk to you or whatever, pray with you, whatever you need. But if you're feeling lost or you're feeling stuck, you feel a dark cloud over your life, just know that you're not doing anything wrong. It could be growing pains. And allow the growth to take place. If what you've been doing and keep doing is not working, it's time to make a change. All right, until next time, girlfriends.
Peace out.
Peace.
We keep it real, we keep it true. Even when I don't agree with everything you do. Every moment lifted high. You know, just two queens talking live. I know that I can call on you.